I'm listening. It's there.
Yeah, sure. I'm still here as he takes a big gulp of his wine.
Welcome to Marketing with Vino, the edutainment business growth podcast, mixing education and entertainment to make growing your service business much more fun. Your hosts, Quinton Venter, online marketing expert, and Gabby Kowalski, creator of the Business Freedom Formula, have a glass of wine and share powerful and up-to-date strategies to help grow your service business fast.
Hey guys, welcome to another amazing episode. Marketing with Vino. Joining us is the most amazing Gabs. Welcome.
Hello, gorgeous. Hello, awesome viewers and listeners. We've got some cool stuff to share with you today. Okay, let's just get into it. What we want to tell you, the gift we're giving you today is how to ensure that when you invest money into advertising, into marketing, you get the most guarantee on return on investment. So I want to share a really cool formula. Quinton's going to give lots and lots of his expertise into this because, you know, being that they run ads, they know when it works and when it doesn't work. And this bit of gold, if you don't do this, your chances of your marketing campaigns actually being effective is pretty low.
Yep.
You know, you could do all the stuff right, you could build the ads funnel, you could do the strategy right, but if you don't do this, your chances of it being awesome are pretty low, quite frankly.
Absolutely. Just on that, Gabs, we've noticed it with previous clients that, we've got a proven way of getting results now, and we found that it's not the tactic or the strategy that's broken. It's the stuff that happens before that actually compromises on the results. And it's frustrating, it's especially with clients, when we go through the process and we execute these strategies, and then we actually have to go and backtrack. And it's like, all right, let's pull the plug, let's go back. And it's literally feeling like you're taking 10 steps back. But the way that how they come out of it afterwards is 10 times stronger, because now their campaign is going to actually produce results. And it's amazing when these things actually start showing the fruit of the labor. And I look forward to this episode. I can't wait to dive a little bit deeper. So let's get into it.
That's it. So this is what it is, guys. That, what it is making sure that you get your foundations done. So many small business owners either skim through this or literally not do it at all. And what are the foundations? The foundations are your brand, then your avatar or your marketplace, and then your product, or what I call like innovation. It's like, what's your unique product that you're sharing with the world? What's your thing, right?
Yeah.
Now you might go, well, yeah, I've got a brand. I'm called Apple Inc., right? And I've got a logo, and it's an apple. I'm done. And yeah, I've got a market. It's all the people that need computers. And yeah,
everybody.
I've got a product. Yeah, I've got a product. It's a computer, right? And I'm going to say to you, no, you don't. You haven't done the deep work. And so this is what stirred this. This morning, I'm speaking to one of my clients, and she says to me, hey, in the past, I've done a whole bunch of marketing campaigns. I've invested money, and I've lost money. Like, I didn't return on investment. And I'm a bit apprehensive on putting more money in and putting more time in to run marketing campaigns. So let's go specifically on Facebook right now. And it's running a Facebook ad, right? She goes, I'm apprehensive about doing it because I don't want to offload all this money and not get the return on investment. She goes, what is it? Like, what am I missing here? And I said to her, you've got to do your foundations. In order for your ads to work, you've got to know who you are as a brand. You need to really identify your marketplace and who you're talking to. And you've got to make sure you know what product you're selling really, really well in order to create a journey for the customer. And she's like, yeah, I get that, but, I'm still missing the piece. And she goes to me, this was really cool, right? And she goes to me, like, she's right into fitness, and she's gone back into wanting to up-level her fitness again. And she's kind of given the gym a bit of, she's kind of been ignoring the gym for a while. And she's like, well, I'm in gym last night, and, and I'm doing the chin-up, and I realize as I'm doing the chin-up that I can only do one now, and I used to be able to do so many. But my head instantly goes to me, well, you got to build your core muscles up in order to do this properly.
Yeah.
So I know as long as I build my core up, right, I'll be able to do the chin-ups well without hurting myself. I've gone, yes, that's exactly right. This is why you need to do your foundations. Your foundations, your branding, your market research, and really nailing your product, are like building up your core in the gym. And she goes, oh, now I get it. It just shifted for her. But then I thought to myself, how can I get this message across more universally? Because not everyone works out, and not everyone gets how the body works. She does, but not everyone else would. So I thought, what could I share with you guys? And this is what I really want to get across. Most people go, I want more clients. And then they go, how do I market on Facebook? They don't build their foundation first. They literally just go, how can I get more clients? Now, it's not their fault. They don't know any better, right? That's no different to the person who doesn't know any better around their body going to the gym and trying to do 10 chin-ups without understanding that there's actually like your core muscles that you need to build up first before you do that properly and get the extent results. Yeah. So I thought to myself, Quinton, I was like, how do I get this message across universally? And then it was like, one of those moments where everything comes together. Yeah, here we go. It's a drum roll moment for sure. And this is what it was. It was, and granted this, of course, there's always going to be someone out there that doesn't fall into this particular thing, but what do we all have in common? We all have in common that we drive cars. We live in a society where we drive around places, right? And I thought to myself, how can I bestow upon people this message, the importance of doing the deep work on brand, on market research, on really nailing your product in and out, and getting and really understanding like the depth of your product, right? Yeah. And this is what it was. It was how do people get to drive on the road? The very first thing they do is
you're waiting for me.
They get a learner's permit.
They need to go get their license. They need to have some form of license to drive on the road.
Which is like,
I'm listening. It's there.
Yeah, sure. I'm still here as he takes a big gulp of his wine. So if you want to drive on the roads, what do you need? You start with getting a learner's permit, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you go for your learner's permit, is there any driving in getting your learner's permit?
No, you need to go and get you need to go do a test. You need to learn for the test first, yeah.
Yeah, you need to understand the foundation, the landscape of the roads. You need to know what lane to drive on, who to give way to, what the red light means, what the orange light means, what the green light means. You need to understand all the rules of the road. If you don't understand the rules of the road and, you start driving, what are your chances of having an accident? Let me put it to you better. Quinton, if you didn't know that the red means stop, the orange means slow down, and the green means go, imagine you're there and you're like, what are these weird things? Red, well, red cars go faster. Red must mean it must go faster, right? We take it for granted, but that's the reality. Like we know what this stuff means. We understand the language of the road. Yeah. If you didn't know that you have to drive in Australia on the left side of the road, and you get on the road and there's all these lanes, and you start driving on your right side, and you've got cars coming at you, what would you think?
You'd be like, these guys are crazy. What's going on? Why aren't they driving on the right side of the road?
This is friggin' chaos, right?
Yeah. What's wrong with them?
Yeah. So this is where, to me, when I go overseas, I honestly refuse to drive in countries that don't function the same way as Australia because it freaks me out. I'm like, it's not, my head doesn't get the game. And then there's people I know that are phenomenal drivers that are much better than I am, that understand the car, the road, the everything at such a deep level that they can easily go to another country and just flip it all over and their head's able to make sense of it. Yeah. Now, same with marketing. Get that, doing your foundation in your marketing, really nailing your brand, really nailing your market, really nailing your offer, is no different to getting your learner's permit. So what most business owners are doing is they're just hopping straight into a car and they're literally asking the wrong question. They're like, how do I drive this car? So when they say, how do I advertise and do marketing is no different to someone going, hey, how do I drive this car? Not, and like voiding the whole process of, no, you got to get your learners first. No, I don't want my learners. I don't need my learners. I just want to drive. I'll be right. You know, I just want to be able to get from here to there. You know, so I want clients faster. I want clients now is like the person who's never driven on a road. Literally, maybe they lived on an island their whole life. They've just arrived into civilization, and they're like, "Oh, what are these cars?" You know, I want one. How do I drive one? No, buddy. First, you got to learn how the roads work. Oh, no, I'll be right. Do you get me?
Absolutely, yeah. It makes total sense. You can almost see it as it's the boring stuff. It's the non-fun part of the actual activity of driving the car, but it's the essential part of driving a car safely, so that you're not getting yourself in trouble.
Exactly. And just like if you were to purely learn how to drive without understanding how the road works, without getting who to give way to, you know, how the whole thing maneuvers, what would happen? What are the chances of you having massive like accidents, crashes, dying and hurting others?
Yeah, massive. You'd be a big liability.
Yep, huge, right? And so to me, every business owner that doesn't do their foundations and goes to market is a liability for themselves, for their industry and for the market, because they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand the landscape of it. They don't understand how to speak the language of marketing. They've tried to fast track it, and that's like going, oh, red light must mean go faster because red cars go faster. And so when companies don't understand this, they do things that aren't correct, like they'll advertise straight away to a cold market of buy my big thing. They'll go, hey, you know, they'll literally go into marketing and then they'll wonder why their ads don't work, because you're trying to get the person to buy the thing versus creating a connection, versus creating a relationship. Yeah. And in order for us to create a relationship with a marketplace, guess what? You need to know who you are and who your market is. You know, if you don't have a personality and you go to a party, are you going to make any friends?
No, people don't want to be associated, or they'll give you a chance and then are like, oh, so how about this weather? And then they just walk away. I mean, at the end of the day, they want to have some form of social skills so that they can get to know you on a more personal level, and you can see if you're a match and if you can enjoy each other's company.
Yeah. And so to me, branding is personality.
Yeah.
You know, now then avatar or market research is, well, who's the person that I want to be working with? What's the piece of the puzzle? You know, and, you know, going deep on it, like, who is this person? What do they believe? You know, what is their character like? You know, it's not just demographics. It's not just, you know, people that are between 25 and 30 that live in this suburb, which is what some people's...
It goes deeper than that. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it's that, right? Like, you know, if you don't have a personality and you don't know who you like hanging out with, how the crap are you going to go make friends at a party? It's going to be pretty hard. You know, same with marketing. If you haven't done your brand work and you haven't done your market research, your avatar work, good luck with it, buddy, because all you're doing is you've got a product that you're flogging. You know, whereas what you got to get is who's the brand. And it's who's the brand in a few different regards, right? And I'd love you to add to this, but to me, branding goes deep on creating a character for the brand, like you and I have a character, yeah?
Yeah.
What is this brand's value? What's this brand's purpose and vision and mission? You know, what legacy does this brand want to leave behind in the industry? What is this brand's why? Like, why? You know, what's its purpose? What's its deep-seated, you know, like reason for being in business in the first place? Yeah. And by the way, this has got nothing to do with your own personal vision of getting rich and famous. This is, what does the brand want to achieve? Not you. So a lot of business owners mix this up. When they do vision work in branding, they do personal vision. So as opposed to getting that in branding, you've got two. You've got your personal vision and you've got the brand vision.
Yeah.
This is what I want to achieve through the vehicle of business for my life. And just because, like, you know, you could also want to make an impact. You could also want to help people, right? But now it's, what is the brand? Actually, like, if the brand was a human being, you know, what kind of a human is it? What would you add to that? Or do you reckon that's a really nice sort of overview of it?
What I'd add to that is when you start looking at selling individual products or services, and when you're having a product or service that is for a completely different person than what product A or product B is for, you might even want to split that into an individual character, individual kind of representation of who is this kind of product for. So you could have your overarching brand in terms of the character behind the brand, but what it comes down to the individual services, that you may be working with buyers, or you may be working with sellers, or you may be working with CEOs, or you may be working with school apprentices or students. You'd be having a different character representing them on a different way, because you don't speak to a CEO on the same level as you would with a student, for example. And that's how you'd be able to bring that down into a smaller segment of your products or services. That's what I'd add to that side.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying is the brand itself is the overarching personality, but also get that there's going to be there's pieces of the brand you're going to share with different marketplaces for different reasons.
Absolutely.
So if we go super deep, that's no different to us as humans, right? That's no different to, me being Gabby. And if Gabby hangs out with 5-year-olds, it's a very different Gabby that shows up than when Gabby's hanging out with the president, right?
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be going, hey, let's make sandcastles,
unless he or she is into it. Yeah, absolutely. It's no different if you look at a dentist, and a dentist working with cosmetics that they have them to do braces, or just a general cleaner for kids. It's two different characters that will represent those products or services, but the overarching brand of the dentist itself, the dentist that's representing the brand, that comes from them. They have to carry that through and through. So yeah, for sure. And this is the other thing too, guys, that when you develop your brand, you've got to make sure that you're in alignment with it. So this is what we don't do, and I've seen people do this before. They do it backwards. So I'm literally telling you the first project that you work on is branding. And you inject your own purpose, your own beliefs into it. So when I tell people to elicit their brand values, I actually get them to elicit their values, and I say, what do you like? When I get my clients to do this, I actually ask them, what are the when you're at your best self, when you're in your best you zone, when you're really proud of yourself, when you're feeling awesome. What's going on? What are your virtues and your values in that time frame? And this is where they elicit the stuff that's really important. So for some of them, it's they value knowledge, they value growth, they value making a difference. They value, does that make sense? Absolutely.
When they're at their best, yeah. So then what I say, let's elicit your, tap into the best version of you. Let's elicit, that character, because we're then going to inject the best of you into your brand. Now, here's what's sexy about it. What's sexy about it is when your brand is a representation of the very best of you, guess who you get to become every day by actually running this business
the very and best being of yourself. Your brand. And,
cool,
and that's the funnest part. I mean, if you're the best of yourself each and every day, you're living on a high, you're feeling optimistic, and things just seem so much better. And if you can step into that identity every day, it attracts so much more to your business on a whole nother level. Yes.
So secondly, right, this to me, it's always injecting. For small business owners, it's inject the best parts of you into your brand, so it calls that out in you, and you get to rock out. This is what I've seen people do wrong. They go, they do it backwards. So as opposed to doing brand, market, deep on product, they go product, market, brand. So they go, I've got this thing to sell. And they go, I've got this thing to sell. Then they go, who has the money to buy this? Then they go, well, these people have the money to buy this. And then they go, what does my brand need to be in order for it to resonate with these people with the money? And here's the problem with that unless you get lucky and the brand is actually a match for you, you could put yourself into a situation where, you decide, for argument's sake, you could be someone who's really easygoing, fun-loving, loves to have a joke and a laugh. you create a product. And for argument's sakes, I don't know, like it could be some whiz-bang software that makes, life easier. And then you go, well, who could I sell this to? And then you go, well, I could sell this to governments all over the world. Cool?
Yeah.
And then you go, well, the brand needs to be extremely professional. It needs to be really military. It needs to be all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you run in that business, your soul dies, because every day you've got to put on a suit. Every day you've got to be on your best behavior. You've got to be Mr. Joe serious. And when you come home, you're exhausted.
Yeah.
So this is why I tell you the other way, even if you've already got your product, you go brand, inject all your cool shit into it. Then market. Who's my ideal client? Who do I love to work with? Who would I love to engage with every single day and interact with? Like, who would I go above and beyond for because I think they rock? And then how can this product be even better for them? Like, how can I make this product even more appropriate for them? How can I add value to it? How can I jig it out so this product is the most suitable thing for them possible to solve their problem, product, service, whatever. Then when you've got that, you're ready to go to market. Because now when you talk, when you share your message online, or however you're advertising, your brand has a character and it speaks the way that, it speaks from its values. It speaks from what it believes in. It speaks from its
passion.
Purpose in life.
Yeah.
Yep. And it speaks to the market, like it targets the market. It actually goes after speaking to the part of the market that it wants to call in. And the product itself is just the natural, it's just the logical choice. It's the logical, thing at the back of it. It just makes sense. Of course I'm going to get this off you. I love you. I love your message. You totally get me. You've gone to the depth of understanding me at a deep level, and this product is even more than what I thought I could have. It's even better than I imagined. But that's when we go deep on this. And now, to me, here's the thing for you guys. So I want to give you guys one marketing funnel, which is the funnel that Quinton and I have been running. And basically, what you want to do is you want to kind of reverse engineer your advertising. So you go, okay, what's the product? Cool. If the product is some computer software and the computer software costs $10,000, right? Would you do a direct ad, Quinton, to the cold market saying, hey, we've got this awesome computer software. It costs 10 grand. Do you want it?
Not at all.
Would you?
No.
No, right?
That'll be stupid. It's like throwing money down the water.
Excellent. Just dumb, right? So instead what we do is we go, okay, what could we do to give them a taste of this product at a low risk way? So what could we do that's more like a low risk, high value thing? So for example, you could go, okay, this is the product we want to sell. What we could do is we could give them 1 month's free access to the software. And then after that, if they love it, they can go into getting it for their business. So that could be one option, right?
Yeah.
Now then we know that with our advertising, we're not trying to sell the product with the advertising, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the low risk thing to sell the product. So then with our actual marketing, what are we doing? Are we selling the product or are we selling the low risk thing?
We're selling the low risk thing with the best experience that they get from the product.
Yeah, and so the next thing is, okay, what can we teach them? How can we use content marketing to actually teach them some cool stuff and build up desire, so when we tell them, hey, you can have 30 days access to this, they're going to go, whoa, that's awesome, and they're going to jump in. And then it's literally going into getting, well, if you don't do the market research work, if you don't understand what your clients' problems are, what their dreams are, if you don't go deep on market research and understand what they're trying to avoid and what they're wanting to get, you wouldn't know how to convince them to come and try this for 30 days.
Yeah.
So say, for example, in this scenario, say we do the market research and the avatar itself, isn't the military, right? It could be I don't know, like give me something. Give me a business model that like uses.
It could be the health sector.
Yeah, perfect, right? So it could be, it could be the health sector. So it could be this software will be really awesome to assist anyone in the medical field, hospitals, doctor clinics, whatever, because it does some really cool stuff to organize things and make things even better.
Yeah.
So then you go, okay, what are the problems of the medical sector around this topic? And then you do the research and find out this goes wrong, that goes wrong. Because of this, it costs them this much money, this much time. Yeah?
Yeah.
Then you'd go, well, what do they really want? They want this to be easy, effortless, streamlined. They're currently using 5 products that are doing a half-assed job to solve this thing that my software could just like fix in an instant, right?
Yeah.
So then you create content, and you create content marketing around that. You create content marketing around, the most common problems. You'd tap into their world. You tell them,
You'd
hey,
give case studies. You'd be showcasing this, how it actually works. You'd be putting that out to the market, whether it's a video or it's someone going through this process, and that's actually telling the story as to how the service has made their life so much easier.
Yeah. And so imagine if you had a few videos that you made, and the videos were purely just to help the market, right? So when you look at marketing, they were helpful. Cool. So guys, thinking about like, what could I share with the marketplace that's helpful around this? So, for argument's sake, with this hypothetical company, who has this software, they could actually produce videos or whatever, some stuff to solve some of these micro problems and say, hey, this stuff's going on. What you need to get is that by having this divided into 5 different sections, here's where you're going wrong. It's never going to work because that's like having 5 dentists work on your teeth at the same time, and they've all got their own method and they've all got their own strategies, and they're going to start arguing. What you want to do is you want to make sure you've got one. You've got one brain running this. Because you've got 5 brains running it, it's not working. There's arguments. There's too many chiefs and not enough Indians. And so the marketplace watches that and goes, oh shit. Then you go, hey, by the way, we have a really cool software that is one brain, and we'd love to give it to you for free for a month to try. And if you love it, then we can chat about integrating it and giving you the advanced versions of it inside of your business.
Yeah.
But if we didn't do our market research, if we didn't actually know who we are so we could communicate and attract, we didn't know who the market was and what their problems were and, all of that kind of stuff, how could we possibly build a marketing funnel that's effortless like this? We couldn't.
We wouldn't be able to. We'd be able to put something out there and hoping it works. And at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan of hope marketing. I'm very much a fan of evidence-based marketing, where we know what's working, what the market actually wants, so we can just give it to them, as opposed to gambling with our money, hoping something's going to happen at the end of the day.
Yes. So guys, your invitation here is that even if you've done work on this before, go deeper. Go deep on your brand. Really like build I'm talking about going in depth on psychology here, because there's 2 parts to branding. There's physical, there's cosmetic, which is what most people just do and forget about the psychological.
Yeah, it's the logo.
Right. So it's like, I've got a brand. This is my logo, and we use red, orange, and green as our colors. And I've even got like a tagline.
Yeah.
And often the tagline's like really weird and doesn't even like mean anything. It just sounded cool. The best taglines, guys, are actually like from the deep psychological work. When you go deep on, like what legacy does it want to leave behind? What is your brand wanting to bestow upon the market, share with the industry, change things up with?
Yeah.
It's not just something that sounded good after you did you did 5 minutes of like jotting down some ideas.
On that note, Gabs, I went through my computer the other day, and I went through all the old files, right? When I first started with coaching studies and NLP, and I had this great idea that I'm going to have this business that's going to help, that everyone needs to be part of. I thought I'm going to be a millionaire within 3 months because I had all the answers, right? Like, boom, that.
Yeah.
I had all the answers, and I called the business Limitless Drive. And you know what? I went through my old files, and I saw the first business card, the first image of how the business card would look and stuff. And I still remember to this day when I got that, and it was just some very corny kind of style, and it was very amateur. But at the time, I thought it was the best looking thing ever. So I was down in Melbourne doing another study, and I got the package sent to the hotel that I was staying at. And I remember when it arrived, and I looked at it, and I'm like, yes, I've got a business now. Like, this is my brand. Look, it's black and red and white. Like, it is. That stuff is sexy. Cards. I've got a business now. Holy crap. Yeah, I didn't know that no one actually wanted my services, because who was I? I was just a little kid. And it was just so funny that then I thought I had everything and I was going to be this big guy, this big shot. And I didn't do any of the market research that now I've moved completely away from that kind of branding and even that kind of business and the style and the tagline and whatnot, because I found my way into what does the market actually want. And it's the branding itself has developed as I've developed and as I've grown into it, and chasing new things and experimenting and trying and finding evidence. And yeah, I still remember that day. It was beautiful. But I can assume so many people relate to it. It's like, branding, done. Logo, done. I've got a business.
I got a business card. I got a business. And often too, it also leads to, I've got a business card and I've got a website. People build websites without doing this work, and then hemorrhage thousands of dollars for some literally there's just your website in cyberspace, collecting cyber dust, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Because you, one, didn't do this work. Two, you have no idea how to drive traffic to the damn thing.
And it costs you thousands of dollars, or if you've done it yourself, it costs you thousands of hours.
Yep, yeah. That's right. So thank you for sharing that, because that's so key, guys. Just because you have a business card doesn't mean you have a brand. It's funny. I don't even use, I've got business cards. I don't even use business. I don't even have them on me.
I don't have them either, no. It's so old school. Let's connect on Facebook.
Yeah, it is. Exactly. And exactly. So now it's exactly it. I'm like, if I meet someone who's a potential client who wants my business card, it's different. I'll think of something I'll be like, hey, look, how about, depending on the chat we just had, because something would have stirred interest in them. Yeah. So I'll actually say, hey, you know what? Instead, I'll send you an email with this thing that we've just been speaking about, and we can book a chat. What's your email address? What's your number? I take their details.
Yeah.
Or I just go, hey, let's connect on Facebook. Exactly. Let's just be friends on Facebook. It's just, anyway, most people's business cards end up in somebody's back pocket, washed in the washing machine, or in some lady's bag that she cleans out every now and then. So really get this, guys, that, go deep and, and do the work. Really do the work. And if you're listening to this and, and there's a part of you that really wants to do it, get in touch with me. This is what I do with my clients. I've got so much depth on this and can really assist you. We're literally running an event next month where we're going super deep on this and building a marketing campaign straight after it. So that way they can get the full process of it.
On that note, should we tell them about the event that's coming up? Because I believe that's a webinar event, isn't it?
Shh. Secret. Oh, can't believe he told you.
All right, secret's out. So guys,
secret's out.
Those of you that are listening to this right now, at the end of this month, it's April. Gabby's running a very special training for a close group of people, but it's also been opened up to Marketing with Vino. And if you want to get in touch with this, the link will be somewhere around here. But if you want to get in touch with this, you can either reach out to Gabby directly by finding her on Facebook, or go to marketingwithvino.com and you can join the group and reach out to Gabby there as well. I believe we'll be putting something out to the group, so for everyone to join. But this would be the training that you do not want to miss. You want to be on this training because Gabby dives deep on this, and it's one of those trainings where you're going to get absolute content. There's not going to be a sales pitch at the end and you've got to wait for that moment where she reveals the price. It's purely, she wants to give you everything that she has in her toolbox on this, and believe me, it is deep and it's worth it for everything that you're going to invest into it, specifically your time, and if you actually implement the work afterwards. So we'll release the dates, but marketingwithvino.com and join the group, or reach out to Gabby Kowalski directly.
Thank you. Actually, you know what? I wasn't going to share this, but it's the cat's out. See, this is what happens when you let Quinton drink on the podcast.
It's the
He's
vino.
like, it's of course it's the vino. So this is it, guys. So for years now, I've been running a workshop, a 1-day intensive, open to the market. So it's my high value, low risk offer. So no different to when we just shared with you guys about what would the software company do? Well, it would give you a 30-day free trial. And then you could go beyond that, right? So for years now, I run this 1-day event, and it's where I give them everything I possibly can in 1 day. And literally, it's unlike other introduction events because I go deep, and my people actually get results. Like literally, I just had one client join me in my first class program the other month. She came to this event a year ago. At the time, she wasn't ready to dive deep and join the first class mastermind, but she literally just took what she learned from that day and 5x'd her business, and then came back to me and said, I'm ready now. I'm ready to rock and roll. This really is a phenomenal friggin' day, right? And because I run it live and I run it in Melbourne, over the years, especially recently, I've had all these people reaching out to me and going, hey, are you going to run one in Sydney? Hey, are you going to run one in Queensland? Hey, are you going to run one in the UK? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to go to the UK and run this. But then I thought to myself, you know what? Let's friggin' do a wicked online workshop. Not like a normal boring webinar where, if you've ever done one of these before, where they spend 20 minutes talking about themselves, trying to get them to, buy into, trying to get you to buy into them, and then give you a tiny bit of stuff, but really give you nothing, and then just try and get you to buy their thing.
Yeah.
I was like, screw this, Quinton. I'm doing it differently. I'm disrupting the system. Mine's going to be 3 hours. Yes, I'm going to give you a 10-minute break in between. So, mine's going to be a 3-hour actual workshop, and I'm going to run it where you like a mini seminar. So I'm literally looking at, it's going to be me with a flip chart behind me so I can draw stuff. And you're going to literally have that experience like it's you and I together. You get to ask questions, and I'm giving you the best of the best highlights from the intensives I've been running. So I'm literally going really deep for 3 hours, and that's I'm not selling a single friggin' thing. It's just give. You get a recording of it. You get a whole bunch of resources, to go with it. You get to go into a Facebook group with unlimited lifetime access and support. So it's just total loving, right? So that's coming out this month.
Awesome.
And we'll have some links up for you. So anywho, it's been a pleasure, Elda. Please, guys, remember branding, market research, and product all aligned. One more bonus tip too, which I believe is really cool, is when you go brand, you go market, then you go product and pricing, right? If just get this right, guys, if you launch a marketing campaign and the feedback from it is the people that you're attracting are not wanting to buy your thing, then you've got to go back to the market research and tweak the market research to go, okay, I'm attracting this kind of person who doesn't value my thing and doesn't want to spend the money on it. Let's go and do some deeper market research work. Yeah. So I'm actually going to be speaking to the right person. Most business owners they're all saying it's too expensive and they lower their prices. No, you're just talking to the wrong people that don't value what you do.
Yeah.
So let your marketing campaigns give you feedback, but the feedback goes, I either need to do more work on my market, or it could be the message. It could be that your brand message, the way you're actually giving them the message, isn't hitting home. It's not exciting them. So once again, it's still going back to, well, what does my market really want? What do they really desire? And then having your message and the sharing of that message be tweaked. Don't tweak the price. If you love your product and you love your price, do not bastardize that. Go back to market research, tweak the tribe, tweak the avatar until you nail it, and go back to message. Would you agree with that?
Very well said. Yeah, I think you covered it. Everything very well said.
Yep.
Yeah, all of it. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Gabby, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Loved hearing it. And for everyone else that is listening, marketingwithvino.com. Let's continue this conversation. We want to hear from you. We want to see your brand join the community and share your page. Share your page in the group so we can see what you're about. And if you've got any questions in terms of market match or how to conduct these kinds of market research, continue in, tag myself, Quinton, or Gabby into the comments, and we'll be able to get you some more feedback on that as well. Thank you, Gabs.
Thank you, gorgeous. Thank you, awesome viewers and listeners. Love.
Love. Bye.
You've been listening to Marketing with Vino. If you enjoyed this episode and want to access the resources discussed in this episode, go to marketingwithvino.com and select which episode you've listened to.